and brown team will be a North couple, difficult team, or a dream team?
Next. Well, I think it was pretty clear to everybody that Messrs Blair and Chirac didn't get on. And if I may be so bold about the former President of France, I think he was more old Europe in all that that meant, and it was time for change. I think that Sarkozy and Brown changed.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that President Sarkozy and Prime Minister Brown can take their positions in that change.
Given that all those economies could have been looking towards 3%, yes, I think 08 is going to be difficult, but not one of those figures is recession. And I don't see this as leading the economies of the Western democracies into recession. Do I think that it's going to affect China and India? Actually, I think it's going to affect them for good, not bad, because they are building so much now for domestic demand. As China and India get richer internally, they begin buying themselves the stuff that they make, especially at the cheaper bottom end.
We would like to see them buy a little bit more.
Well,
and consuming a little bit more.
the deal of globalisation for France and for Britain is you want China and India to get as rich as possible as quickly as possible, so that they actually start buying, America stops buying. If America stops buying from China, China will feel cold very quickly. But as long as America carries on the basics, then China carries on making stuff increasingly for her own market. And I don't think the credit crunch will hurt China and India in the same way as it will slow down France, Britain, Germany, and America. Recession in any of this, but I see a very difficult.
We don't know exactly what's going on, exactly what's, if there is.
What is French from? If you go to the 21st century, wealth will be created, entrepreneurship will flourish, jobs will come to our countries if they cluster around the development, exploitation and transfer of knowledge. The only place we will find success in a world, in a globalised world with all the threats we've just talked about and where China and India are, is if we constantly add value to what we do, we innovate what we do in goods and services, and we link in with universities and schools and colleges and research. Now, I think Sarkozy gets that. I'm pretty certain he does. I know Gordon Brown gets that. If I want a Brussels that gets the future for our countries, to get young people to think learning is cool. You know, there are 20% of the French adult population who cannot read like an 11-year-old. There are 20% of the British population, adults, who cannot read like an 11-year-old. These people always existed.
Yes.
But we always gave them jobs. We put them down the pit, we put them on the fields, we put them into car factories and textile mills and steel mills and shipyards. We always gave them jobs. There are no jobs for these people anymore. They've all gone. And unless we skill them, the 21st century is going to be pretty horrible. I don't understand why the money out of 450 million people, sophisticated consumers living in peace, they'd rather give more grants to farmers than universities. I don't understand why, if you've got a failing business in the European Union, let's give out some money and keep it going. The money should be spent, but it should be spent on tomorrow, not on yesterday.